Getting back to it now, Mike Banks is joining me. He is the Border Patrol Chief of the United States. And look, I don't care how you slice it, what your metric is, there is a lot of success, except, of course, with lawfare targeting deportation efforts by this administration. But that notwithstanding, Mike, thank you for being here, first of all. And second of all, though, the border crossings are at an all-time low, not just all-time low for the last year or two, all-time low period for any time we've ever measured. It was less than 7,000, I believe, last month. We were having 7, 8, 10,000 a day during the previous administration.
Absolutely.
That's real success.
Real success. 97% decrease in illegal crossings on the U.S. border.
So, where do we go from here? We're jammed up in the courts. I mean, this has got to be frustrating to you guys.
It is, right? And so it's pretty typical every time we start getting some wins. They're using lawfare, like you said, in order to try to fight it. But where do we go as far as the Border Patrol? We're going to keep interdicting. We're going to keep deterring. We're going to keep building border barrier. We're going to keep building infrastructure. We're going to build back up our forces. Our forces were so greatly depleted under the previous administration, and so we're gonna get the job done. We're going to get to zero gotaways. Right now, we're seeing a 98% decrease in gotaways, where we were seeing thousands of gotaways a day. We saw 47 yesterday across the entire United States border.
47.
47.
That's it.
That's it.
So I mean that's a monumental difference. I mean, it is. And so, yes, you've got trouble in deportations. We'll get to that. But you stop the inflow. And so when you stop the inflow, you stop the human trafficking. You stop the flow of illegal drugs, right?
Absolutely. And so, a lot of times I'm asked, they're like, Chief, we're seeing a massive decrease in crossings on the border, but we're seeing a large increase in your seizures, interdiction, and narcotics, specifically fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamines. How is that? Well, because I don't have agents sitting inside of processing centers processing illegal immigrants and releasing them to the United States. My agents are actually out on the border conducting interdictions. And so I can tell you without a doubt, we are not seeing more narcotics being smuggled in. What you're seeing in our seizures going through the roof is the amount of drugs that we're getting through and getting into the interior of the United States and killing Americans by the thousands.
How many lives do you think you're saving? I mean, that's what occurs to me. I'm sitting there thinking, well, if 10,000 pills or 100,000 pills or 1,000,000 pills of fentanyl don't go through, how many lives are saved?
So I like to put it in this context. Enough people are dying, enough people dying every day in America between the ages of 18 and 40 for fentanyl to fill a 737 aircraft per day. Every day. And so we're seeing that decrease. We're seeing the use of fentanyl decrease. Obviously, our goal is to cut off the supply. And as we start seeing the price of drugs go up, that's a win for us. It's going up because there's less supply and there's more demand. And so we are getting after it. But I think what the American people really need to understand is this is what was flowing into this country because Border Patrol agents weren't allowed to go out and do their job.
Couldn't do their job. So how do you look at it, Mike? You got to be frustrated. You've done this your whole career, I assume, right? This has been your career, law enforcement.
Law enforcement, my entire career.
And you have, pick your city, doesn't matter. They're not going to hold somebody on an ICE detainer. Here's somebody who's committed a crime. First of all, this idea that everybody needs due process, like this gentleman from El Salvador, Abrejo Garcia, right? He was tossed out. No due process. If you're in the country illegally, what more do I need to know? If you're in the country illegally, folks, what else do I need to know? Why do we have to go through these extra hoops and jumps and processes? If you're in the country illegally and it's determined by you or any other law enforcement agency to be true, isn't that due process enough? You're in the country illegally. You're not a citizen. You came in. You were not vetted. You did not come in properly. You did not show your paperwork. You did not declare what you're going to do. Why can't we just throw them out?
Absolutely, and it's exactly what you said. It's lawfare, right? It's stop this president's agenda at any cost, even if it's at the cost of Americans dying daily because of what's being smuggled into this country. And it is absurd. It is one of the most frustrating things in the world. This person had been ordered removed. Bring him back. Bring back
for what?
Abrego to do it. We'll deport him again, right? You've already been ordered deported, right? You have an order of deportation.
He couldn't go to El Salvador. Why? Because you've been threatened by another gang.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a gang member.
A rival gang.
But he's got emojis covering his hands whenever he's on social media with pictures of him on his wife. They have emojis covering his hand hearts. Of course he's a gang member.
Absolutely.
Adjudicated by not one but two courts here in America.
Absolutely.
Why do we have to know anything else? That is due process, is it not?
Correct. And so, I've been asked this numerous times. If he's brought back, what will happen? He will be apprehended and deported again.
But this time maybe to Guatemala.
Well, we'll
or
deport him to wherever we got to deport him where he's not coming back.
To El Salvador, which is just odd. But Guatemala will take him. I
Right.
mean, I know that. It's just something that I read. Places that are there are receiving countries.
You are. And first, it's like, well, you're sending people to countries that's not theirs. And now we're sending this guy to his country of citizenship.
And that's a problem.
And that's a problem, too, now. So I think the problem with the lawfare is that anytime you're achieving success, we're going to do anything we can to prevent that success.
How do the people on the other side of this, I don't even know how it's an argument, Mike, how do people on the other side of this conversation look parents in the eye, look at mom in the eye, dad in the eye, who have lost a child to fentanyl, to a violent crime from an illegal alien, to a drunk driver, which, by the way, drunk drivers never got thrown out. How weird. If you get one, folks, if you didn't know this, one drunk driving in your life, and you can never go to the nation of Canada.
Right.
You probably knew that. They don't know that. But I know that. I live in Michigan. We know you can't go you get a DUI, boom, you can't go, right? Not my problem, but other people's problem. But you can drive drunk in America if you're from, 100 different countries, apparently, and everybody's cool with that. I'm not cool with that, Mike.
Right. Nor am I. Nor am I. And, the fact is that if you come here, even if you come here illegally and you're in a temporary status, you have to abide by our laws. And if you don't abide by our laws, you're subject to deportation. You agree to it when you accept it. Immigrating to the United States is not a right. It is a benefit.
It's a privilege.
And there are rules that go with that benefit and privilege. And if you can't play by the rules, then you don't get to come. We want people that are going to come to this country and be productive and make this country a better country. Yeah. Listen, immigration, we built this country on immigrants. This country will only survive on immigrants. But you know what? You need to come through the front door and do it the legal way. Don't come between the port of entries, because your chances of being apprehended, prosecuted, and deported have greatly increased, because we are just getting started, and we're not going to be satisfied until we shut the border down completely.
And if you're going to come here, learn something about the place. Assimilate. Bring your culture, bring your food. I love your food. All those great things, but do it under the guise of making America a better place.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Mike Banks, greatly appreciated. He is the United States Border Patrol Chief. Greatly appreciate you being here, sir.
Hey, thank you
so
for having
much.
me on.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
There you have it. All right, we're going to take a break here. Remember, if you come here illegally, you are going to get thrown out. And to me, my friends, that is enough due process. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.